Hello, my name is Dr. Richard Bandler, and I am one of the co-founders of the field of Neuro-Linguistic Programming. I've also been doing hypnosis for 54 years. And together with Paul McKenna's experience, that puts us at close to a century of having been hypnotists. Paul started out as a stage hypnotist, but he's been doing personal change stuff for close to 30 years. The first seminar we taught together was in the 1990s, which means we've been at this a long time and we're quite good at it. Those of you who have signed up for the course, The Power of Hypnosis, and those of you who are going to sign up are in for a real treat, because this is going to combine the skills of hypnosis, the skills of neuro-linguistic programming to teach you how to have a much better life. And to be able, for those of you who work with other people, to help other people to have a better life. More specifically, it's going to teach you how to change beliefs, how to have more motivation, how to get over difficulties like fears and phobias and all kinds of things that will make it so that your time is free. The currency of living is how you spend the moments of your life. And one thing altered states will teach you. A lot of people have a bad idea about hypnosis. They watch too many movies. Hypnosis isn't where you lose control, it's where you gain control. You can, through years of training of hypnosis have taught me to control my heart rate, my blood pressure, which memories. I helped somebody to find a ring they lost 30 years ago. I helped somebody that couldn't remember their sister who had died over 40 years ago to be able to remember her vividly. I've helped people over all kinds of difficulties. I have a 54-year career of taking people that were considered to be impossible, that their problems were overwhelming. I've worked with major league athletes. I've worked with football players. I've worked with all kinds of people over the years. And this particular workshop is going to give people a glimpse into the magic of being able to change your own mind. Because if you change the way you think, it changes how you feel, and therefore it changes what you're actually capable of doing. Many people forget that what gets in the way of us doing most things is how we think about them. If we change the way we think, it gives us greater freedom. It allows us to spend more of our time doing useful things and less of our time reviewing the past and going over bad memories or believing that we can't do things or worrying about whether we will. All of that time adds up into a huge amount of time that you could be living a much better life. There's a real good reason that the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror, and that's to get you to look forward with excitement. Over the past 54 years, I've written 35 books. And in those books are many, many techniques that help people to be able to control their fears, to control their memories. And let me give you a good example. And in one of the seminars that Paul and I did, a woman came in and because I demonstrate a lot while I'm teaching, I brought this woman on the stage and she was plagued by a bad memory. She thought about it most all throughout the day. And I asked her, I said, 2 minutes here, 3 minutes there, what does it add up to? Most of the time when I ask that question, people will say 30 minutes a day, which, by the way, comes out to a lot. That's over 150 hours a year. And but she said 6 hours a day. And 6 hours a day really adds up to a lot. When you start to think there are 365 days in a year and you multiply that by 6, right? And then you start going by the decades and adding zeros to it. It comes out to really, we're talking 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 hours that somebody is going to be reliving some past bad memory. Now, in a matter of moments, I put her into an altered state because hypnosis is really very easy if you know what you're doing. I got her to put a border around that memory so that you went around the outside of the memory, so that she just put a border around it and then suddenly shrunk it down to the size of, half a postage stamp. And just poof, just like that. And then turned it all the way white and all the way black and blink it like this. And then I told her to try and feel bad about it. And she started laughing because she couldn't. It's a neurological trick. Most of NLP is based on taking control and command of your neurology by knowing how it works. Conscious thinking itself is about controlling things. And if you're not controlling it, it controls you. When you have voices in your head that are chattering away and making you feel bad or stressed out, people come in and go, things stress me out. Well, it's not. There's an intermediate step. You have to do something in your head in order to feel bad. It's not the outside world that's controlling you. I hear this a lot now that people go, that this makes me feel bad, so therefore you can't do it. But you can't get the whole planet to line up and behave properly so that you can feel okay. You need to take control of your own neurology. I have an experiment for you to try. The very thing I described. Take a memory that you think about, from time to time, and it makes you feel bad. And literally put a 2-inch colored border around the edge, shrink it down, turn it all the way white, turn it all the way black, and do it really fast. And do it all at once. Try it now. Close your eyes, think of something that makes you feel bad, put a border around it, shrink it down so it's the size of a small coin or a small stamp, blink it black and white, and then wait a few seconds and go back and think about it. It changes how our neurology constructs and goes through it. Because most of the time we go through, even though there are millions and billions of neural networks in the brain, and we're increasing it all the time, that it knows how to go to the next one by size, be it ever so microscopic. And typically they go and they loop around until they habituate and you stop thinking about something and move on to some other thought. And then when you go back, it goes into the same loop. When you take that and you put a border around it, it literally switches the hemisphere. And then you start to add to it. It doesn't stop in the same place. It stops somewhere else that doesn't feel bad. It's not that you don't know bad things happen to you, but it makes it easier to learn from them. And learning is what the brain is about. The brain is about making things familiar. Familiar can feel good or bad. Your brain doesn't care, but you should. You should want to take as much control of your brain, aim your conscious thoughts with your unconscious thoughts, line them up so that you go in the direction you want, so that you can have a happier, more productive, more motivated life. That's what these 2 days will be about. And I'm hoping to see all of you there. For the 2 days that this seminar will go on, both Paul McKenna and myself will be demonstrating to you what works to change a life. We'll be having you try things in the audience so that you can take better control of your neurology. This is not going to be a lot of theory. We're not going to be telling you how you should think. We're not going to tell you what to think. We're going to teach you how to control your own thoughts so that you can make better decisions about your own life and give you the techniques to be able to do it now. Not something that you achieve over the long run, but something that you can do quickly. When I wrote the book, Get the Life You Wanted, I wanted something where people could go in and go and examine a fear and get out of it without having to go through a lot of therapy. Therapy is an archaeological dig where you go in and find out why you have the problem you have. We don't care about that. We want you to make it so that you don't have the problem, that we want you to go into the future, not understanding yourself, but understanding how to do new things, think new things, and achieve new things. All we ever studied was successful people. Neuro-Linguistic Programming itself grew out of the study of successful thinking, whether it was a baseball pitcher, whether it was a football player, whether it was an academician, whether it was somebody spelling, or whether it was somebody overcoming fears, overcoming phobias, overcoming depression, or just being more motivated. We modeled great salespeople. We modeled all kinds of things. Paul and I have been at this for decades and decades. Our trainings are the best in the world because we're the best in the world. And if you want to be the best you can, I want to see you there. I'm often asked who should attend these seminars. Do you need a background in psychotherapy? Do you need to be a hypnotist? Do you need a degree in psychology? And the answer is no. Whether you're driving a taxi, whether you're running a business, whether you're designing clothes, no matter what you do, learning to think more efficiently and more effectively, being more motivated is for everybody. And I'll tell you, having a degree in psychology is not a leg up. It's something you can overcome. Now, I want to warn you, there is a limited amount of space available in this room. I have used this room before, and only a certain number of people are going to be there live. But that doesn't mean that you can't attend, because unlike most of the time, Paul and I are going to stream this out to anybody. So if it's too far to travel, or you got kids at home, or whatever the reason, you can't be it there, you can have a similar experience. And we have highly trained assistants that will help you do the exercises at home that we give people in the room. And we have assistants in the room that are going to help you to be able to do these things so that you do them correctly. Because with my work, doing things precisely is extremely important. For those of you at home, we have people to help you do it that way. So whether you attend or whether you stream it, your life is going to get better, and you're going to become more skilled at thinking. And because if you change the way you think, it will change how you feel, and therefore change what you're capable of doing for the better. Over the years, I've done lots of trainings. I've done lots of 2-day seminars, week-long seminars, trainings starting back in the 1970s. And I can tell you that since I've never stopped learning, the changes in the training that I do have never stopped changing. For those of you who took this course 5 or 10 years ago, we're not doing the same things that we used to do. NLP is a young field, and the advancements in hypnotic technology, given our brainwave machines and all kinds of lovely things that have allowed us to become more precise, our knowledge of neurology has increased so that we know more about what we're doing, how it works, and it's given us greater skills so that we can do a lot more faster, quicker, easier. So I recommend that if you've taken this course before, you consider doing it again. You may discover there are levels upon levels and new techniques coming all the time. I have no intention of slowing down, and neither should you. This event is going to occur the 8th and 9th of June, 2024, so it's coming up fast. I recommend that you be there, because if you can be there in person, live is always best. Online, still great. Either way, look at the link, click the link, and join me in London. I'll be there very soon.